All right, what's going on, guys? So, patch 92 is out, and I just want to say this 'cause I think it's funny. Before I even go over these patch notes, one thing. Yesterday when I was streaming, I had people that kept like, "Oh, bro, like, when's the patch coming out? When's the patch coming out?" Or like, "Oh, are you ready for the patch?" And my response to them was, like, I don't even look forward to patches anymore, just because I know, like, I don't know what's gonna be in the patch, obviously, right? But I know whatever they do is going to be so irrelevant, it's just not even gonna matter. Like, whatever they're doing is something that I've played before or we've experienced before, and it's not going to make the game any better. It's just going to change it. It's just going to be a different type of dog shit, right? And this patch comes out and proves me exactly right when I said that. And I think that's really, really beautiful. Like, truly, I do love it. All right. So, as always, they fix some bugs. Whatever. I don't know if any of these are relevant. I guess this one is. The blocking was fixed with these weapons. Whatever. Game updates. The sale period for the DLC seasonal pack has been extended until August 7th. Uh, I mean, I guess this isn't like weird, but on some level, this kind of makes me believe that the wipe is going to be pushed back even farther because originally it was supposed to be late August, and now they're extending the sale period for the DLC seasonal pack. So either they're like doing this knowing they're gonna wipe the game like 1 to 2 weeks after, and they're just trying to scam more money out of people, or they're doing this because they expect to extend their wipe even further beyond August, and they want and this will be open longer. But whatever. Maximum party size is now determined based on the dungeons: Goblin Cave, solos, the Frost Mountain, duos, the Ruins of the Forgotten Castle, trios. The party type remains trios for all locales in adventure mode. Enabled random matchmaking. So also, and one last thing, disabled in-game party for solos, dungeons. Once the party reaches the maximum number allowed by the mode, no more party members can be added. Okay, so a little bit to break down here. Not much, but a little bit. Um, so these right here, these are the big ones. Obviously, they went back and, like I said, this is what I meant. This isn't new, right? Like this, none of this here is new. This is them just going back to what it was before. So now you can only play solos in Goblin Caves. You can only play duos in Frost Mountain. You can only play trios on the Ruins of the Forgotten Castle. I mean, cool. Like I don't think this makes anything better. Like, okay, you could play duos again if you're duos players. Cool. Frost Mountain's one of the worst maps in the game, though. That's the thing. You can play solos in Goblin Caves. Cool. And then you can play trios in Ruins, Crypts, Inferno, whatever. This might be fine for now, but like this is the same thing I mentioned originally before they even removed solos and duos. Of whenever you do this, it's going to be fine for a period of time, but after that period of time is up, the same issues are going to arise. Duos players are going to complain about playing other maps. Solos players are going to complain about playing other maps. Trios players, honestly, trios players don't really complain because they don't really care about. It. They don't like. They're fine. Like, but the reason the solos and duos players complain is because the other maps, like the Frost or not, sorry, not Frost, or yeah, Frost Mountain and Goblin Caves, kind of fucking blows, right? You you have access to artifacts on Wyvern. That's the only one. If you're a solos player, you have no access to artifacts. Um, the bosses you fight are incredibly like one-dimensional and boring, and your map just overall is kind of bad. I mean, what else to say? It's kind of bad map. But it's the exact same issue we saw before. They complained about, oh, we don't want to play our map. We want to play other maps. Like, wah, wah, wah. And eventually, that's when they inevitably added in map rotation. And, everybody saw how horrible that was. And like I said, it's going to be the same thing again. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it will be the same thing. And this, to me, once again, this is like it's trying to band-aid fix your issue, but it's an issue that you caused trying to fix different issue. Like we keep like, oh, it's like if you guys ever seen like a movie or a cartoon or whatever where there's three holes in a boat and they're all filling with water and they keep trying to cover the holes and they cover holes with two hands and the third one pops water out and they move one hand over to that hole and the one they just uncovered pops water out. That is what Dark and Darker is. They keep trying to cover up one thing, and in the process of covering up the thing, or like covering up the new thing, another one pops up, and then they go back to that one, and then the old one pops up, and they switch a different hand over, and that one pops up, and the water is still filling. Like you aren't stopping it, and slowly but surely the ship is sinking. That's just and that like, that is where we've been at for a very very long time. It's like I said, it's not fast, but it is happening. Because it doesn't matter if you bring back solos. It doesn't matter if you bring back duos because these are still going to cause issues. People are still going to be unhappy being forced to play one map forever. And you can't fix that unless you make it so like map rotation exists or you make it so all the queues are available. And guess what? Those have issues too. And once again, keep in mind, I mean, oh my god, I don't like. So the biggest issue with this, the number one issue with this, right now, right? Because right now, whatever, cool, this is fine. What about in a month and a half when the new wipe starts and the water map is out? What do you do then? Right? Do you make it trios? Most likely. Do you make it duos or solos? Probably not. So your new map comes out. You now have 4 maps. So your option is either you force everybody into trios, you force everybody into duos, or you force everybody into solos to play the map. No matter what you choose, people will not be happy. And this was always the issue with this formula for deciding how many players are on a map. The moment a 4th map is introduced, everything goes to shit. Everything. Keep in mind, we had this issue before, and literally, that is like, remember, I don't know if you get like way back when. So Ruins was originally designed to be the first floor of Crypts. But then, no one really liked it, and so like, okay, we're gonna make Ruins a standalone map, like Goblin Caves, and it'll be the Duos map. But then, whenever they were when they were adding in Frostmountain, they're like, okay, well, we can't have 4 maps because it doesn't work anymore, so we're gonna combine Ruins back with Crypts, even though no one wanted that. And they did that to maintain their status quo of 3 maps. And like I said, whenever this new water map comes out, this doesn't work anymore. So, like I just mentioned a second ago, you will have a major issue because if you make it like, let's say, no matter what you pick, like let's because I think trios is obviously the most likely, right? I mean, I think it's kind of a given. Let's say they make it trios, then your solos players and your duos players, if they want to play the new map, the new content that we've been waiting well over a year for, their options are to go in as a solo and duo and be at a disadvantage against trios. You know, obviously what they complained about before, which is why you just recently added back in solos and now duos. Um, what was my other point? I don't even know. I remember it. But you either force them to go back in and play as solos or duos, or they don't play the map. Right? That's it. I mean, I guess that was the point I was going to make. Period. And I don't think, they're gonna make that choice. I don't think they're like, oh well, I'm just not gonna play the map because I can't play it as a solo or a duo. No, they're gonna play the map, and then you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna complain, and honestly, it's justifiably so at this point. Like I don't even think their complaints are bad. If you add back in solos and duos in the 3 map rotation, and I'm a solos player, and then you add a new map that we've been waiting for a year and a half, and you make it trios only, and I'm a solos player, yeah, I'm gonna complain because that's kind of messed up, isn't it? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think so. Now, what I will say, the only way in my mind, and arguably I think it's not a bad idea, that they can do this is if they remove the current trios map. If they remove Crypts, Ruins, Inferno, temporarily and implement the water map in its place, that is the only way I think this can work. And genuinely, I think it's almost, plausible they will do this just to maintain the status quo of the 3 maps. But regardless, SDF has a big red nose, he wears size 23 shoes, and drives a tiny little car because he's a goddamn clown. Moving on. They disabled the in-game party for solos. See, I'm kind of mixed about this. I don't know about you guys. I don't. Cause I played yesterday and I played a little before, but the team partying up in solos was actually really, really fun. The issue is pre-teaming. That is the big issue here. And honestly, it's not even that hard to prevent people from doing. You just have to ban them for it, right? But they weren't. I'm sure most of you know they actively were not banning people for anything, like for anything teaming related with the solos, like the introduction of the handshake and solos, which I think is stupid because the teaming up mechanic could have been really good and really fun. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Also, has rails things off center. Oopsies. It was really, really enjoyable and really, really fun to play. I mean, it was cool, right? I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Maybe you guys hated it. I had a different opinion. But my issue was the pre-teaming. I think the pre-teaming was just it was literally rampant, and they refused to do anything. And so because they refused to do anything, they have to remove a mechanic, which I think could have been actually pretty fun. Were there gonna be times where you were a solo player that you didn't want to team up? Yeah. and it'd probably be pretty annoying for you, but at the same time, life, I guess. Adapt. Um, Reintroduced Dark Swarm and random portals to High Roller mode and disabled some fixed extraction points. Once again, this is just going back in the past. Their logic behind this, because he says it down here in like the dev notes and stuff, but their logic behind this was, oh, we did this, we removed Swarm and added a bunch of portals, so the solo and duo players can escape out of trios easier, right? And like the Swarm pressured them too much, stuff like that, which is hilarious to me because I think the Swarm arguably benefits them way more than it does as a full team because you can hide outside the Swarm and no one can really like who's gonna go searching for a solo player outside the Swarm, right? Like it's a lot harder to find them. But yeah, just reverting things as always. Name tags are displayed for party members when using the in-game party or random matchmaking system. Great. Once again, reverting something. Cool. Increase the number of recent chat messages shown in the HUD. Okay, who cares? Change the default price of the sash from 50 to 12 gold. Yippee, right? Like sick. Balance updates. Improved an issue where Ghost King's attacks dealt the same amount of damage regardless of distance. I did feel this actually. Increase the max impact endurance of wooden doors. Improve the armor curve by plus 4.2% to slightly improve the dirt. Like, what does this even mean? By 4 point where? Like all across the board, it's 4.2%. Like, am I now going to have 4.2% PDR in every just for every piece of plate armor? Like when I'm in is my armor increased by 4.2% at every rarity at all ranks? Right? I don't know what this means exactly, but cool. W. The hilt of the longsword is no longer usable for blocking or posting. Good. The main attribute of the Frost Amulet and the Phoenix Choker has been reduced by 1 across all rarities. Whatever. Decrease the impact resistance of the Spear, Bardiche, Quarterstaff, Flute, and Longsword. I mean, this is weird. It's actually a buff for Longsword. It's actually a pretty big buff for Longsword. Because you guys don't know, impact power determines how long you have to riposte. So the more impact power you have, the shorter your riposte window is. So it's pretty cancer. Unless they changed it at some point, which I don't know. But correct me if I'm wrong. And if or don't, I don't care. But then they nerfed it. Longsword weapon damage decreased by 2. Void Blade magic weapon damage decreased by 4 to 2. I think this is good. Longsword is really, really strong. This weapon is really, really good. Not even as a parry weapon. It just had so much damage that you could just kind of left click people and hit them incredibly hard. And it has a very, very strong moveset with the poke. The poke has a surprisingly long reach, and it's very, very easy to hit headshots with it. So, makes sense. I think it's justifiable nerf. Yeah, and then, just dev comments. Like, whatever. I'm actually curious. Did they mention anything? For instance, this hotfix, we've lowered the amount of loot that can be obtained from Goblin Cave hordes to make to better match solo adventures. Wait, what? Okay. Also, this is annoying to me. Why didn't because I didn't even know this. I actually just read this. This hotfix, we've lowered the amount of loot that can be obtained from the Goblin Cave hordes to match better. Why didn't you mention this anywhere up here? Like, why isn't this in the game updates? Why is it in bug fixes? Why is it in balance updates? Why is this in developer comments where you should put like your thoughts and stuff? You don't put this isn't just like patch note version 2 where you have to go on an Easter egg hunt to find it. Also, what is this? What is this logic? Like hold on, where's it at? Where's it at? Sorry, wait, am I stupid? Like, okay, the amount of loot can be obtained from Goblin Cave hordes to better match solo adventures. I mean, I guess, but I feel like this hasn't been like a thing in a long time. Like solos has been like the most lucrative way to make gold for a very, very long time. It's a weird thing to start adjusting it now. Also, wait, hold on. I just read this. In addition, this update also includes a change to give non-pre-made parties a better chance against their pre-made brethren. Parties created through the random matchmaking or through the in-game party system will have a small advantage of being able to see their teammates' nameplates within the PvP dungeon. Wait, did I read that wrong? Oh, okay. It said in-game party, and I just assumed they just meant the party system, like just in general. So okay, like, okay, okay. So we are now actively hurting players that have friends. Sick. My bad. That's cool, I guess. I shouldn't have any. Our original goal at the start of the semi-wipe was see if possible to create a mixed queue dungeon experience that gave solos, duos, and trios an even chance in one pool. No, it's physically impossible. You are stupid for thinking it isn't. We removed the Dark Storm at that time because it put undue pressure on solo and duo players that forced more uneven PvP encounters. No, it doesn't. With the return of exclusive solo and duo pools, we no longer need to discourage PvP and can return to giving the High Roller mode its more unique hardcore identity. Fucking Kappa Chungus Deluximus Maximus the Seventh. We've also modified the impact power of weapons and their ability to destroy doors. Our original intentions by giving more classes the ability to break doors when their weapons was to improve the ability to run away. I mean, like, come on, how stupid can we be? Like, doors, not the breaking doors. Being able to open and close doors was literally the best way to run from people. If you were chasing a ranger or a rogue or a sorcerer or fucking a fighter and you weren't a class that could open doors fast and they have open doors, you cannot catch them. Like, you couldn't. They were, like, doors needed to be nerfed because they were so good to run away from. Like, that was bad. And they said what we saw in game actually ran counter to our intention and ended up giving advantage to the pursuer. Good. Like, that's good. Yes, that's what I want. Give me an advantage because when people are running, chasing them down is nearly impossible unless I am significantly faster than them. Like, they made a good change for the wrong reason, realized their reason was wrong, and it's working too well for the wrong reasons, and like, oh no, we gotta take that out. That's working a little bit too well. That is too good. Like, you guys are idiots. Quit. They quit your jobs. We still like the ability to break doors as it removes the stalemate of door and door. No, it doesn't. Not anymore. Not if it takes me 30 hits to break it. When parties actually want to engage with each other. We now have rebalanced most of the weapons and doors' impact power to allow players to make a tactical decision and to remove a door instead of just one-shotting it, which is still possible. It requires the crush skill. So this right here, what this tells me, that what their idea of door and door isn't one player running back, like running away from somebody through doors. Their idea of it is, I'm physically unable to push through this door because it's a choke point, and if I walk through, I'm gonna get hit by wizard spells, ranger shots. A fighter's gonna block me, a barb's gonna block me, cleric's gonna block me, sorcerer spells. That's door and door. Door and door isn't literally running through opening, closing doors. Well, I mean, sometimes it is. Door and door, and what they're talking about is I physically can't push because every single area in this game is a choke point, and if I walk through the choke point, I die. And breaking the door doesn't help me. It doesn't help me go through it. You know what did help me do? Breaking doors, it helped me chase people down. That's what it helped me do, and that was great. I love that. But I'm sorry, I guess I had a little bit too much fun with that. And yeah, I mean, that's the patch. These guys are idiots. The game's dead. GG. Catch you guys later. Peace, peace.